being full aware of the danger of using superlatives, I can honestly state with 100% certainty that Jay was the best mentor the youth in this town could have had. No one came close to him. But being a pop warner coach, a Little League coach, a DEER facilitator, a CCD instructor, an avid school committee person, as well as an exemplary firefighter instructor of underwater, cold water diving, and of course being a model dad and a model husband, married, was not enough for this tireless hero. He wanted so much to create a youth center. He was way ahead of a lot of the people in our community. He loved the Milford kid. They loved him back too. He was like a champion of the underdog. He was like a walking trophy whenever you saw the things he did. He always did them 100%. Well, this all began back in about 1992 when Jay initiated a request with the assistance of our then Representative Marie Peretti to form a youth center in a building here which was formerly known as the Armory. Well, he got denied the first time because there was a contractual agreement between the Armory and a basketball league. Jay and Marie then submitted a request that his request be put on reserve in consideration for a youth center in this building. Now, in so doing this, he actually planted a seed, not for the garden, a seed for boundless optimism for what eventually became known as Jay's Dream and Jay's DiAntonio Youth Center. Now, many people in the situation probably would have sat back in their chair, closed their eyes, and dreamed of something like that coming true. But not Jay. He opened his eyes, got up from the chair, and he worked towards those dreams zealously, along with Representative Parenti as well. Jay, in spite of the initial refusal, kept on working in many projects involved with, including having bowling leagues for kids, renting out the Milford swimming pool, having spaghetti feeds, things like that. His infectious enthusiasm, both he and Representative Parenti, the basis representative, was successful in acquiring support of many of our local officials, school committee, town council, board of selectmen, and also we recruited the resources of Colonel Louis Volpe. Became a very integral part of the bill that we have before us today. In the meantime, there was a group of middle school students working on a similar dream, a youth center. Sometimes dreamers balk at the first hint of problems, but not these dreamers, not these kids. These kids, some of them here today, Jeff Consoletti, Morgan Seafor, Adam DeCenzi, Michelle Hyatt, and Ashley Mackey have responded to a state contest entitled Social Order in the Communities. And they won top honors, and their project was a youth center. They did a voluminous amount of work and research, stressed the importance of having an active role in a youth commission. Once again, it was Representative Marie Parenti and Senator Moore who came to the cause and succeeded in passing legislation which enabled them to become members of a youth commission and also increased the size from 7 to 21. At about the same time, Jay was pretty ill. Jay passed away at a very young age of 35. Even when visiting him in the hospital shortly before passing, he would always remind us to maintain the Armory for the youth center. From there on, the youth center project became known as Jay's Dream. Shortly after Jay's passing, Representative Parenti finally had a final meeting in the Armory with what became known as the final meeting among state officials, National Guard, and recently appointed Milford Youth Commissions in order to acquire the Milford Armory for a youth center. Colonel Louis Volpe did an extraordinary amount of work. He was relentless in his request and discovery work he did in order for us to acquire this building. At the end of the meeting, with the newly appointed youth center there, Colonel Volpe, General Messina, Representative Parenti, we were able to rent this building, a good portion of it, the entire first floor, which you'll see when you get inside and see the magnificent job that was done on the basketball floor. We would rent that whole room, that whole part of the Armory, and a room for $1 per year. Extraordinary deal. Shortly after, the direction of the Milford Youth Commission, who is now Mary DiAntonio, Jay's wife, acquired a lot of support from people. Everybody wanted to jump on the bandwagon. They realized it was a very, very good thing to have in our community. Support from the selectmen, town meeting members, private businessmen, private individuals. Could go on and on. Too many names, too many names to mention within an hour. But we thank you all immensely. We mean that seriously from the bottom of our heart. Finally, in 1998, the doors opened for the J. DiAntonio Youth Center. Mary also created a Friends of the Youth Center along with Fran Small and Dan Collins to facilitate the ongoings of our youth center. Again, we can't thank enough all those people who worked for us on behalf of Jay. Jay actually planted the seeds, and he went through it, and he came even better than the best mentor we ever could have had in our community. I thank you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of the day.